Over 1 million cinema lovers have already subscribed to Film Companion. What are you waiting for? Hit the bell icon and join our film family.
2017-18 were great years for me. And then 1920, maybe 19 was not, maybe. But so that's okay. But you need to keep working. You need to keep pushing your boundaries. You would make mistakes, but then you learn from those mistakes and then you move on.
You know, we kept Badhaai Do so guarded since the day we started shooting the film. There was no communication. We didn't put out any pictures. We didn't put out a first look.
Bhumi, not you. You were putting 10,000 stories every day.
But not of my look, Raj. Not of my look. We really kept it like, I tried my level best to keep it as...
Is she a compulsive Instagrammer?
I think she gets paid for personal stories also.
Bhumi and Raj, it's so lovely to see you. I feel like it's been too long, just too long. Henna?
That's why I made Badhaai 2. Badhaai Do.
Nice plug. Well played.
Gender?
आपको क्या लगता है?
Female.
Listen, I was thinking that in the early days of the pandemic, when it was so routine for us to ask artists how they felt about their films going straight to streaming. And now it's come a full circle. And I have to ask you how it feels to have a film in the theater. And is it more nerve-wracking because you're back to box office and being judged by the Friday?
Well, yeah, but I know, when you make a good film, you feel very confident. And I know we've made a really good film. All of us are so proud of our film. It's so beautiful. So it is slightly nerve-wracking, but I think we are pretty sure that people have, and the kind of response we got for the trailer especially.
Yeah.
People have really responded very well to the trailer. And
who
I talk to, they are pretty sure about going to theaters now because it's getting in control now, the whole Omicron thing.
And also, like, apart from all the other elements that they loved, about our trailer, I think something that really got people excited was that they will watch it in theaters. And, our film is a family viewing experience, while you're watching the film, you're going to have a smile on your face. And I feel that energy needs to be shared with the community. And there couldn't have been a better space than us coming back and us trying to bring people back into theaters. We are very, very confident. And, we kept Badhaai Do so guarded since the day we started shooting the film. There was no communication. We didn't put out any pictures. We didn't put out a first look.
Bhumi, not you. You were putting 10,000 stories every day.
But not of my look, Raj. Not of my look. We really kept it like, I tried my level best to keep it as...
Is she a compulsive Instagrammer?
I think she gets paid for personal stories also. Some 10 rupees I'm sure she's getting for every story she's putting.
I don't want to go there. Raj.
Anupam, I'm sorry, that's a relationship we share. We just we're buddies.
Yeah, so we just have to really kind of at times give really serious answers and be as articulate as possible, and then suddenly this will start. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, our gesture when we go out of...
And it's this, I was like, listen, it's too much.
Too much, stop.
So getting back to what I was saying, was that, we kept the film very guarded. And the idea was because it's such a special film to all of us. And yes, shooting the film was outstanding, but also what the film stands for. And, the expectation that we have out of it, because we are so confident that the trailer is literally just 5% of what the film stands for. What the film is. And you don't often say this of movies of yours that release, I think Raj and I both are very realistic actors, right? So, and we have realistic and we have realistic expectations out of, the cinema that we do. But with Badhaai Do, since day one, we were gunning for the fact that it has to come in theaters, and kudos to Jungli and, the makers and Harsh and everybody who kind of, stood through that decision. And so we are ending the pandemic with Badhaai Do. So I think it's going to be great.
Fabulous. That is wonderful. And I cannot wait to be back in a theater. I've really missed it this month. Tell me, this is of course a tricky subject, but like you said, it's been explored in a way that is making it palatable for a family. There is comedy. You're making it accessible and just something that everyone's comfortable watching. Now, as actors, how did the two of you balance between hitting that funny bone, but also treating it with the seriousness that it deserves to be?
I think the credit goes to Harsh and our writing team.
Absolutely.
Suman,
Absolutely.
Akshat, and Harsh together, and Kirti, our editor. I think they have written it so beautifully that that fine balance is very much there, where you will laugh with these characters, but also you'll understand what they go through. And I don't want to reveal too much, but I think the last part of the film is something so beautiful. It's something I have not really seen in many in our cinema. The last 20 minutes of it, I think it's written so well that we'll make you laugh, we'll like entertain you and all, but still once you step out of the theater, you will think about these two.
As Raj very rightly said, just adding on to what he said, this was one of those scripts because I'm sure both of us have had material that's come our way, that is in a similar genre, about characters that belong to the LGBTQI community. But for me, Badhaai Do, when I heard the narration, I was like, wow, there are no red flags. This is a story about two individuals, two humans, and the only thing about them is not their sexuality. That's how you normalize the conversation, right? And that was beautiful to me. And their sexuality does not define them. It is a very, very big not conflict in their life. It is a conflict because of the way society has structured the basic fabric of society, and eventually it is their coming of age, it is their acceptance. And as Raj rightly said, there's so much that happens in the film and there's so much that the trailer does not say. So eventually when you walk out of the cinema, you're going to have a very fulfilled experience because you're going to smile through the film. You'll be laughing your asses off. I am very confident of it. But you're going to walk out with a gut in your stomach, in your heart, because there's no way this film is not going to move you.
I was talking to Parmesh Shahani, who's the author of Queeristan and Gay Bombay, and he's an inclusion advocate. And he said that he was excited by Badhaai Do ever since he heard about it. Okay. He said, though, that now that commercial cinema is sort of going further and further into queer storytelling, down that journey, he said the question is really, are they engaging enough with the queer community? Are there enough queer writers? Are there enough queer people on the team, on the crew? Is there enough research being put into it? Do you think that that's happening enough right now?
It has happened with our film. These guys have written the script for over almost 2 years. And they've spoken to so many people from the community and they have involved them in the writing process. At every step, they were very much involved. Even we have shown them the cuts and wanted to know what they feel about it, and we've always got great response. So I think we are Harsh as a maker, and all of us. I think me, Bhumi, the whole team. We are all very sensitive people, and we were very sure that the kind of film, the kind of story that we want to tell, and I'm very glad that it has shaped up the way we wanted it to be.
Tell me, what's it like working with Harsh? His first film, Hunter, was a very interesting.
This is what it's like working with Harsh.
Oh, what a guy. We call him Harry because, he is
why Harry?
Person that we know.
He's
because,
a cool boy now.
He's a cool boy. He's just Harry. He's not Harshvardhan Kulkarni. He's Harry.
We know that 81-year-old guy, what he thinks he is. He's only 47.
He's like, Harsh is somebody who is so driven and who is such a genius with his craft. He really knows what he's doing. But what's amazing about him is that he is not overconfident about it. He's very inclusive. Everybody who's on Harsh's team contributes to the film. And the kind of ownership that I saw on set comes from top up. Literally every assistant director, camera assistant, costume assistant, our spot boys, everybody was so invested in the process. Everybody was very emotionally invested in the process, and you don't have such an experience often, and that comes from Harsh. And I personally feel that this is for me, like definitely one of my career best, because he pushes you so much as an actor.
It is.
And
I think after Son Chidiya, this is one of your finest performances.
thanks.
How lovely. The
Like,
two of you are both very good actors, right? I was just wondering, on a set together, when you watch each other work, are there moments when you see something the other person does that just you envy, that you just
all
can't
the
do?
time.
Yeah, my
All the
six pack
time.
was very envy physique in the film.
You know, I was just going to give you a compliment, but I think I'm just going to maybe stay away from it. Raj, let me appreciate you. That's what the question was. मैं बोल लूं.
Bolo, bolo.
So no, but honestly, you know, I don't think because, you know, our friendship is just, you know, we've got a brotherhood, we've got a sisterhood, Raj and I. So, you know, we don't necessarily always like, you know, go tell each other, oh my God, you know, you were so good, even though we really appreciate each other's craft a lot, but we are goofing around very often. But there were many times when we were shooting that I was like, you know, when I was giving him cues or when I was just sitting behind the monitor, because especially when it was a scene, I feel Raj's comic timing is phenomenal. I mean, he's a phenomenal performer. I've seen him do such varied work, right? But where his comedy is concerned, the way he's played it over here, because this film is a great balance of, you know, fantastic writing and intelligent physical comedy as well. You know, it's that perfect balance. And I was just, it was an experience watching Raj do what he does. And, you know, just also as a co-actor, just he's so secure and he really kind of helps you lift your performance as well. I'm sure he'll have the same things to say about me too. But
I have no choice.
I'm just putting it out there.
No, but Raj, is there something you learned from watching Bhumi work?
Well, we all know what a fantastic actor she is. That is there. That goes without saying. You know, she is one of the most hardworking actors I've seen till date that I worked with. And when we are in front of the camera, you know, we are just complimenting each other. You know, it has never happened. Like, I love improvising a lot on sets. And she was always there. She was present there. She was, you know, reacting to whatever I was doing. I was reacting to whatever she was doing. And that's great. You know, that's a great relationship to share with your co-actor. It's not like, but ye to nahi hai. And we were very much present there. We were living like Shardul and Sumi. But the kind of performance she's given in this film, as I said earlier, you know, I loved her in so many films, but Son Chidiya being my favorite. But I think this is another one in the list where people would notice her and say, whoa.
You know, I was talking recently to Tahir Rajbhasin, and he said to me, now it's the time of the hybrid star. You know, people who are seamlessly moving between shows and films and theatrical and streaming. Would you agree? Has the nature of stardom changed inherently through the pandemic?
100%.
How?
I think so, right? Because, you know, I just don't feel it's because of, you know, online content or like, you know, these breakthrough stories that have come. I just feel like since the emergence of social media, you know, that can be any aspect, you know, you can be a TikTok star, you know, to whatever work you do. I feel today there's enough space for you to shine. Right? Like today you can reach to a global audience through your phone. You know, so we all are stars in our own right. And I feel that's why we all are so secure, you know, because there's so much work happening and there's such good work happening. And we all kind of, you know, especially film actors, I feel need to kind of accept that, you know, times are changing and we need to kind of hybridize ourselves, as Tahir, you know, very rightly said, and just do content that works. Because today, I think, is the best time to understand that good content travels, good content stays for the longest time. You know, good content is legacy. So, you know, it's completely your choice what you want to do. But I feel like, you know, now is the time to really push our boundaries. And the most unexpected things become so big, you know, because you reach so many people. You know, these are things that there's so many sleeper hits, like, you know, this term that was coined, you know, for films. There's so many sleeper hits across all platforms. So I feel like definitely the term of a star has evolved. But having said that, I feel cinema, you know, when you still watch something in theaters, you know, and the impact that it gives you is still, it's a different experience. So you can't take anything away from that.
Of course, absolutely. But Raj, is the sense of stardom, because like Bhumi said, there's so many ways now to be a star. Is stardom more transient? Is it more, you're here today, gone tomorrow because somebody else's flavor of the month?
Well, yeah, that happens, and you have to accept that. There will be like 2017, 18 were great years for me. And then 19, 20, maybe 19 was not, maybe. But so that's okay. But you need to keep working. You need to keep pushing your boundaries. You would make mistakes, but then you learn from those mistakes, and then you move on, and then you try and do something which really excites you and something you believe in. So that's how I see it. You can, you have to accept the changing times. But you need to, I think as actors, what we need to do is we need to keep really pushing. We need to keep working hard on all our characters, and we can't take things for granted, because especially now, look at all the amazing South actors, actors from down South, and they are doing such fab work, and it's no more Hindi film industry or South Indian film industry, which is great. I think it should be one industry, an Indian film industry. And people know today who Fahad Fazil is. People know who Allu Arjun is, Junior NTR. It's amazing to see that everybody is so inclusive, and we are all like, I have so many friends from down South, and I see their performances, and I get in touch with them. I message them, and then we exchange messages, and I get to know that even they are watching like so many great films from Hindi film industry. So I think now the whole definition of stardom has changed. I think as Bhumi rightly said, it's more about the kind of work you do. It's more about the legacy you leave behind. It's no more about only that weekend, because just because films are there forever. We 1972 Godfather release, but people are still watching it every day somewhere or the other, and somewhere or the other part of the world. So I think it's the kind of work you want to do and the kind of work you want to leave behind. That's what I believe in. That's what I've learned in this pandemic.
So, there's been a lot of hand-wringing about how the palette of the audience has changed. What are they going to come back into theaters for? And I spoke to a lot of studio heads and filmmakers, and the general consensus seems to be that what they're going to come back for is an experience, like Spider-Man or like Pushpa, and those sort of middle of the road films, what we used to call high content, will necessarily have to go to streaming. Now, as two actors who have thrived and excelled in that space, are you concerned about this?
No, I think I have this discussion with a lot of my, friends from the fraternity. And what I believe is that, of course, you're right. The larger than life films will work. People will go for that experience. But also, I think the films which are really high in content, and they will work because of word of mouth.
Yeah.
That you need to go, let's go. It's a beautiful film. Let's laugh together. There's something more to it. It's not your regular, small town love story. It's not.
Yeah.
I think either a great content will work, or a larger than life, that canvas will work. I think as you said, middle of the road films which are neither here nor there, and they're just flat comedies. I don't think so that there's any scope for those films anymore. I feel that I might be wrong, but I have a feeling.
I think our audiences have been exposed to such phenomenal global work. We can't give them anything that's run of the mill and done. You can't be lazy as filmmakers today. Correct. You have to be in your A game. You can't be lazy. You can't be lazy as actors today. You can't give them substandard work and expect people to appreciate it. So just coming back to a general the general chatter now is that you need to give them an experience, and as Raj said, rightly so, absolutely, I would want to go to a theater for that as well. But times are changing rapidly. The pandemic has ended. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it looks like it's towards the fag end of it. It's towards the fag end of it, at least, and I feel by the end of it in India, what is it that I miss? What is it that I do with my family? I go watch a film, and that experience will never change. I do want to go feel a barrage of emotions when I'm sitting with my parents. And also cinema so often talks about things and addresses things that we otherwise would not speak or talk about. So I feel the community viewing experience is always going to be there, and this notion, I think, is going to change.
I hope.
I think it will parallelly, the OTT space will parallelly coexist, and it's a very powerful medium. And I'm glad it's generating so much of employment.
Oh, absolutely.
that we get to see. But I think theaters, somebody was telling me when television started, at that time also this discussion was there. Now what's going to happen to theaters? Now television is everybody's house. But theaters survived and they will survive.
Yeah. And also I remember when like Dam Laga Ke Haisha, Bareli Ki Barfi happened, that time also the whole conversation was that, these content-based films are done, they're not going to happen. But you just need that one film that comes and breaks a stereotype that's been formed, and then everything changes. That's just the way things have been going.
Yeah. Raj, the photos from your wedding, which is so lovely. And as I was seeing them, so cute. I was remembering you had told me how Patralekha had come to visit you on the sets of Omerta, and you had changed so drastically that you actually scared her. And she was just like, I don't know who this man is, right? So has she become more used to your shape-shifting now?
Also she doesn't really come often to my sets. Like she was there on the sets of Bleed for 2 days because she really loves me and Bhumi and Anubhav sir, everything. But she doesn't really come on my sets anymore. But yeah, I think she's kind of, and she wants me to do that. She loved that old Raj who was so involved and so invested in his characters. And she's the one, me and Bhumi, we both feel that Patralekha is the right girl to go and talk to. What should we?
She gives great advice. She gives great advice.
She's so amazing. She's so intelligent. And she's the one who kept pushing me for in the whole pandemic, just think the kind of films you want to do. Don't just do anything. And I really took that advice very seriously. And the kind of films I'm doing now and whatever will be coming is something at least I'm proud of. I think that is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Tell me, and I will end soon. I'm sure I have overrun my time.
Telling everyone, we all know you're such a brilliant actor. Let me tell you, we all know you're such a brilliant film journalist. We want to talk to you.
Thank you. I was thinking, like, Raj, you talked about Sonchirya. I mean, Bhumi was so brilliant, and that was such a wonderful film, right? But that's not a film that found a broad audience, right? You've done such tough films. And again, it's the same thing. Those films don't find a broad audience. So are you constantly then sort of balancing between these movies, which really showcase how talented you are, and between the movies that do further your career?
Not anymore. I'm done calculating.
You're done with that?
I'm done with that thinking. I have to do one this and two. No. I think I'm very happy if after 10 people, only 3 people have seen Omerta and Shahid. I know those 3 people loved it more than they love anything which has done maybe hundreds of crores at the box office. So I think I'm very happy with, just those 3 people and talking to them. And you never know these days, never know which film is going to click and which film won't. Like when we did 3 is something I'm proud of, but we never in our dreams thought it would make so much of money at the box office. So I think you have to keep doing what you believe in, and something or the other would work out.
Yeah.
Nothing great goes unnoticed. Maybe not today, maybe after a year, people will talk about it. I know so many people have seen Sonchirya later and they love it. Like I'll always remember Sonchirya.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bhumi, are you done as well? I think that's lovely. I think it's lovely to be done with trying to do one for them and one for you kind of thing.
I mean, Badhaai Do is my 10th film, and when I kind of look back and think about all the movies that I've done, I don't think I've ever had the excitement of, this is a great project that I want to be associated with. It's pretty much, I mean, obviously I've had hits and misses, like everybody else, and it's going to be a part of my life and I'm going to continue doing it. But I had this one certain experience where I didn't do the film for the right reasons, and it didn't work for me, right? And that was a learning. I realized that no, my gut, my instinct, my ethos has always been script over everything else. Filmmakers and intention over everything else. The one time I went away from it, I think I kind of learned my lesson. So now I'm very clear that I have to stick by what made me who I am, what got me so far, which is, being associated with projects that I believe in, doing work that kind of helps me push, wherever I have reached in life as a person and as a performer. And, I'm again going to say, just leave behind a legacy of films because art is timeless.
Yeah. No, sounds great. And all best for Badhaai Do. I cannot
Thank
wait
you.
to be in the theater again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Raj and I just spoke to Anupama ma'am about our film Badhaai Do,
which is releasing on 11th of Feb in a theater near you. And if you like this interview, please subscribe to Film Companion.